Why'd I bring it up? Oh, I'll tell you what. Have you ever been to the Philippines before? Okay, I went there, and I like the Philippines. I was actually, I did not enjoy the poverty. I shouldn't even bring this up. I'd say it if Sherrod was here. It's the kind of thing, it's like, when you're a comedian and you see something horrible, you should just only tell other comedians about that. Because everyone else is going to, we had that worldview. I'll tell you, because you're a comedian, all right. It's not funny at all. I'll tell you, it wasn't funny when I saw it. I'll tell you when it was funny. Okay, so we're driving down the street in the Philippines. It was like urban area. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Asia. Traffic, not so good. As a matter of fact, it's horrendous traffic. Small, it's somewhat chaotic. For me, for my American standards. Excuse me, everybody. Whatever. Okay, you've seen hood movies, you picture bad neighborhoods, you've heard all these things, but you got to see, real poverty. Like when an American sees it, you can't help but be like, holy shit. Okay, so we made a couple turns trying to get out of traffic, and then we turned into it was like the real world, real poverty. What do I mean by real poverty? Well, there were tons of things that I saw in that instant. Like we turned a corner and all of a sudden it was like, I've never seen any of this shit before in my life. One of the things was, because it was an urban setting, you have to imagine it's a city, but there was a guy and he was, it wasn't funny to me, this was not my initial reaction. And I need to tell you that, but you're a comedian, so please look at it with those glasses. This is like that Kramer moment I was so worried about. Okay, we turned the corner and there was a guy who's walking and he had no clothes on, right? Now, that shit could happen in New York, but the way he was walking was like he didn't have no clothes anywhere. Like, it wasn't like he was walking to some clothes he had. He was just walking like, I'm naked, B. So like, now it wasn't funny to me at all. My kids were in the back. They were like, oh, shit. Like, they're like 5 and 8. Oh! Like, all right, so now, their reaction to it made me want to just because they're kids. And I remember what it's like being a kid. And he was naked, man, in the city. And all right. So I explained to the kids, listen, guys, this is what the world is like. There's people out here don't have da-da-da-da-da, There's grandmothers from there. She's explained to her mom. We all explained to her. The kids like, oh, snap. Okay. So then we come back to America. It's like 8 days later, and we split up. Kids go back to Ohio. I said, I got to go to LA, take care of some business. I went to Hollywood for a minute, and then my wife calls me up, and she says, and she's crying. I go, what's going on? She goes, she did it. I said, who did what? She's like, Manny Pacquiao. He won. And I said, oh, that's fucking great. There's happy. She said, finally, Filipino people feel a lot of pride when Manny Pacquiao won, and it was kind of touching the way she felt. And then she said he's going to give his money to the poor. And then I say to my wife, and this one was funny, I hope he buys that guy some pants or something. And she fell out like, but it was funny because it was weeks later, and it was an emotional moment, and it was so emotional. I felt a little uncomfortable, so I just had to throw a little joke in there about the guy who saw with no pants.